The following video contains sensitive content which some viewers may find offensive or disturbing.
The cult that you have believes that people who might be schizophrenic have demons.
In this sneak peek of my podcast, I meet an ex-Christian musician, now cult leader.
Because before you put your hands on your head and you said, I'm downloading, I'm getting information. Can you talk to plants?
You can absolutely talk to plants. It's not that hard either.
You've tuned in to Why Believe, the world's most controversial podcast on religion and belief, with TikToker and researcher CAEL O'Donnell, the Aussie thinker.
I am an alien born in a human body. I'm a pop star cult leader. I am here on planet Earth on a mission to spread joy and to heal some of the more toxic structures that have plagued Earth for centuries.
Okay. When did you get this mission? When did you learn about this mission?
It was something that I was always a little bit aware of, but obviously you don't want to believe something like that. So you just pretend like, well, that was a weird thought. And you just go along with the world until there's a point in time where you can't, right? Where you have to say, okay, I'm going to step into this thing that has been eating at me for my whole life.
Yeah.
So for me, it was around between the years 2012 and 2014, I underwent my spiritual awakening and really started realizing the truth of who I am and what I'm doing here.
So I'm curious to know now, in lots of religions and in lots of cults, there's a lot to do with money. I'm curious to know, what do your followers owe you? Do they owe you money?
We say attention is a commodity. We also say attention is a commodity because it's like such a holy, attention is like the main currency that we talk about in UNICOLE. Because when we pay attention to things, that's what causes things to bloom and grow. Attention is like a precursor to intent. So we talk about attention mostly. Money is a thing that we all need. And UNICOLE costs a lot of money to run and operate, and there's a lot of different things that go into that. I have an online store that people support through getting, the book and crystals and the application. The application costs $11. It's a lifetime fee of $11. People give me a really hard time about this, but that's literally what it costs to go to lunch one time. So I feel like I can stand by my $11 application fee.
It's only gone up by $1 as well, because it used to be $10, I believe.
It used to be $10 in 2014 or something. Yeah.
It's only an inflation of $1 in that many years. What costed extra $1? Was the inflation of online resources, or the crystals had a bit of a growth? Or
I wanted it to be 11.11.
Oh,
I was like, why is it 10? It needs to be 11.11. Duh.
You mentioned, and I was curious about telepathy, because you had a video where you were talking to plants, and I don't know if you were being serious that you can talk to plants. Can you talk to plants?
You can absolutely talk to plants. It's not that hard either.
What do they say to you?
They are really nice. They're really freaking nice. And I will tell you, I know, and the thing is, we've got this whole sort of orchestrated attack on tree huggers. That term tree huggers, and it's supposed to be this derogatory term, and it's supposed to make you so you never would hug a tree. But I swear to you, that is some kind of spiritual warfare. If you go hug a tree, you will get a download of energy and information that you will hardly believe, because trees are highly telepathic with humans. If you go and you open your mind up to a tree and you hug it, or you even just sit with it, put your hand on it and say, you have to really, I know it takes a lot to be I'm talking to a tree. I know that takes a lot, but if you can get there and you can open your mind up to that, you will be shocked. What do trees say? They say, you're doing great. We love you. Trees are so supportive. They're the most supportive beings. They're just they just love and love and love. They don't even see anything negative about humans. They just love humans.
Wow.
It's like a dog. Dogs just love humans,
So are you saying that plants can speak to humans in different ways? So the trees would say and be of an encouraging sound. What would the what would sort of like grass be? Do grass say something different or?
Yeah, grass is more like, shh, like, there's not as much consciousness focused in grass as there is a tree. Trees are beings. Bushes, it's so funny. I know how crazy this sounds, but when you tune into this, it's like when you look at an elephant and that this elephant has this like deep understanding, and then you look at like a moth, right? And you're like, okay, that moth still is conscious. Like I can still kind of get the vibe of the moth, but it's not going to be like the same as an elephant, In that way, plants have the same kind of spectrum of consciousness. Not to say that one is more valuable than the other, but just as far as like being close to or similar to our own consciousness, it's more like what's easiest to communicate with. I don't know. Being grass seems kind of like a sort of multi-sensory experience, whereas being a tree is more like just kind of like a solid presence throughout time.
Wow, that's an absolutely astounding concept that I've never thought of. I've never thought of things like trees and things like that being conscious. Is that why people choose to be vegan? Because animals sort of have this sort of more conscious self than eating plants. Now we're going into this direction of, what do you eat? Are you a vegan?
I eat pure light. No, I'm just kidding.
That's why you're so slim.
It's just a spiritual eating disorder. No, I'm a vegan, and I would say I'm a vegan because I have killed an animal.
I suppose the symptoms of certain mental illnesses of sort of thinking, that things are out there. Some people might think that spirits and you've talked about like mermaids and stuff existing. Would you say that, because you've got some opinions about mental illness and they're very interesting, what's your perspective on mental illness and balancing these beliefs?
The bravery that it takes for me to say, yeah, you can talk to trees. I'm not saying that from a place of like not knowing how that sounds. Like I know how that sounds, but I also know that it's true. And so to be so totally aligned with truth and to be so totally sure of reality at the same time as knowing that that's not going to translate, and that a lot of people will just simply not be able, like their threshold is not anywhere near the threshold that I'm radiating out. I get that and I understand that. And I struggled with that a lot when I first started on this path, and that the only reason why I'm so brave and the only reason why I'm able to like stand here and speak my truth is because I was at a point of literally either dying or living. And I had to make that choice. And the only way that I was going to endure another year on this planet at this point was to believe whatever I wanted. And so I started from that place of just like, if I don't believe in magic, even though I know it's not real, this is where I started. I said, I know magic isn't real, but I have to believe in it because it's the only thing that makes me happy. It's the only thing that like is bright in this horrible reality. So I started from that place and I just said, yeah, I know I'm crazy, but I just have to believe in unicorns because it makes me happy and it makes me not want to kill myself. Like, I'm so quirky, but then moving through it and moving into my spiritual awakening and like realizing all this stuff is freaking real and having like other people support me in these beliefs. Like I have hundreds of friends who all have the same experience as me, feeling like they're star seeds, feeling like they can speak to aliens, meditating, tuning into these frequencies, being able to talk to plants, being able to talk to animals. I'm validated in this thing. And I think that that's what's something that's so beautiful about the internet is that in the 1960s, even if I did follow this path of like being true to my heart and even being totally validated in everything I believe, I wouldn't have the social support or the social feedback to validate or legitimize anything that I believed. And I would probably end up in a mental hospital. Like that's true. But the thing is that I'm not in a void. And the things that I do believe are reflected back at me as repeatable occurrences. The amount of telepathy that I experience is insane.
Demons, and more demons.
Like a demon or a spirit or an angel did something help you write your text?
Yes.
Because before you put your hands on your head and you said, I'm downloading, I'm getting information. Was there an alien talking to you, or how did you...
Don't miss as this conversation goes deeper. Episode 2 comes out in March 8. Subscribe today so you don't miss this interesting conversation.